There is a dark place, but I'm not going there. No, no, not on my way. There is a dark place, but I'm not going there. No, no, not on my way.
Hi, I'm Jordan.
And I'm Lex.
And this is Or Learn Parkour.
It's a podcast, sometimes about ADHD, but it's a podcast primarily informed by ADHD because it's done by two Dumbo Crumbos.
That's a new
have
one.
ADHD. I don't know, I was trying to spice it up because I usually say absolute fucking idiots and Dumbo Crumbo sounded nicer.
Why does a Dumbo Crumbo sound like a pastry you would buy from like a grocery store? It's like in the donut case, but it's not really a donut.
It's like the grocery donut version of an elephant ear.
Interesting.
I'm just thinking Dumbo.
Yeah. Crumbo, I guess.
Dumbo
from, like,
Crumbo, because it's a little crumbly.
Yeah, it's got the cinnamon on it.
Oh.
It's good now.
I was just thinking about like how if you made an elephant ear and then you put like chocolate and a little bit of graham cracker crumble and then some marshmallow.
Like a
and makes
s'more?
it like a s'mores elephant ear.
Shit.
A s'mores Dumbo Crumbo in it.
2 minutes in. 2 minutes in.
Jordan has had to live in hell for several couple weeks now.
It's like 2 weeks now. I've been just
bombarded constantly.
non-consensually in the UK.
Oh, but it's all fun, isn't it? We're just bullying them. You always tack on with me. It's not just me. Yeah, right. So here's
But I feel like I'm being bullied at this point.
Oh, just because you're having to live with basically someone who's consumed British identity to a point where it can't stop, and now you've been forced to non-consensually live with someone who's coming off as a British person. That is fair. Fuck the English, right?
There's a lot that I signed up for, and I know that I signed up for when we moved in together, but I think if you'd been from the UK for real, that'd have been a deal breaker. That'd have been a deal breaker. Sort of.
So, for context, it was actually probably going to be my DT, but I've been watching a lot of Love Island, and it's really easy for me to slip into different, like, northern and midland type accents from the UK because I went to school with so many of them. And so watching people on television just make absolute fools of themselves, and it just is, the comedy of it is just escalated by 10 just because of the accents. Like, just because they're British, right?
That's so valid.
But so Jordan has been subjected to me just osmosising these absolute fucking animals trapped in, like, beautiful, lovely animals trapped in a weird little villa-shaped cage together. It's like... Anyways, it's, yeah, so...
I get it. The show sounds like it's a lot, so I get that it kind of spills over, you know? Mm-hmm. But what a time.
Yeah,
What a time it has been.
It has been a time.
What a rare mood you've been in.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, we did come up with, like, one of the funniest band names we've come up with because of it.
This is true.
So, it's not all bad.
Very excited to share the debut of our
bluegrass ska band.
Our bluegrass ska band, Mint Tits.
Mint Tits, innit? She's got mint tits, she do.
It's funny. I love a rhyme. I cannot say no to the power of a good rhyme.
It's one vowel that brings so much to the table between two words. Mm-hmm. Anyways, so this is a podcast about ADHD, where we sometimes talk about ADHD, usually talk about other shit that we're into because we have ADHD, and it's easy to get off track.
It is imbued with the ADHD.
Yeah, it is, like, bespoke, like, I don't know, I kind of lost that one.
No.
You know, it's just, it's
I think you're onto something, though. Like, I feel like we're really sort of turning the neurotypical narrative on its head, because ADHD stands for Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder.
Yeah.
And we are here in this closet together with no dearth of attention. and we're sitting in a closet. So that's not really hyperactive. If it is, it rattles shit when I'm trying to record and I yell at you about it.
Yeah.
So we got attention out the wazoo. Suck on that.
Huff my attentive ass. Fucking.
I feel like Attentive Ass is also a great band name. Like, they should open for us.
Attentive ass opens for mint tits.
Uh-huh.
Oh, fuck, that is funny. It does go together pretty well. Yeah, I don't know, lick my ass. We talk about whatever we want usually. We're not doctors, we're not psychologists, we're not psychiatrists. We are, when it comes to ADHD, the professional health advice aspect, grains of salt. Several grains of salt.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But we are experts in the fact that this is our lived experience.
This is our podcast.
Every single day, 24/7, 365, 366 on the leap yeeps. No getting away from it.
The leap yeeps?
The leap yeeps.
The leap yeeps?
Yeah. You heard me.
The leap yeeps?
It is also worth noting, I think, to our valued audience, we are recording a little bit later in the day than we normally do. It is about 10:15 p.m. Chicago time.
I mean, last time we did it, though, it was a bit funnier than normal. So I feel like aiming for a little late night epi is kind of fun. I like this pattern we're developing. Nights. Except for it's just like, that's just the podcast now. It's all nights.
All nights.
Or Learn Parkour. Now showing on Nick at Night, like.
Or Learn Parkour. Lock in.
Oh, God. That one just, sorry, that just visceral tummy drop that I did feel.
I'm so sorry.
Just the concept of a lock-in. Can we just, I know we have an actual little epi we're going to have, and you're going to talk about stuff that relates to, like, accessibility, and like that's dope because it's like what you do for your job and it's cool. And
no, but let's I brought up lock-ins.
But
we have to go there.
What in the sweet hell? Like, you're like, hey, I don't want these kids to get up into any trouble, so let's give 3 adults, all several tens, hundreds, however many, what kind of size lock-in it is. Like, we had school lock-ins.
Like your whole school?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, like we had school, like you didn't have to go.
Yeah.
But like a lot of people were like, yeah, fun activities, like laser tag, whatever. Mm-hmm. Like they like literally set up a laser tag thing like in the gym.
That's pretty tight.
Yeah, it's just like none of us actually want to be awake that whole time. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
But I recognize that like the idea is like, oh, well, these kids are going to be hanging out with each other late into the night. They could be doing nefarious things, but let's lock them inside a school and or church and or rec center because that'll 3 chaperones will stop all that nonsense.
They will be less hellions when they are sleep deprived and locked in a building together.
Yeah, they'll be less hellions when you literally lock them in the building that they all know like the back of their fucking hands because they're little goblins in a public school. Mm-hmm. Like, it was just one of those things where I'm like, and then there's only like 3 chaperones because no fucking reasonable adult is like, I would love to be locked in a school with a bunch of teens. Like, no. And so
Which I get.
So fair. But it's like, you have half the school population locked in this building. It's like 2 a.m. And you think that the theater kids and the band kids aren't gonna go fuck in weird little hideaways in the theater department because if you've ever been in a theater department, there's a lot of places. A chaperone cannot be in all of those places at once. Mm-hmm. And while I am not saying that those activities are good nor bad, that is not a judgment that I can make. I'm not a parent. I have been a teen, so I know how I feel about it from that respect. But I've never been a parent or a chaperone. Well, I have been a chaperone, actually, for like, but it didn't feel like it counted because it was when I was like a youth leader in college. So it's like, I'm only a couple years older than y'all. Like, I don't know, have fun as long as you do it in the house. That was always sort of the energy I had.
Yeah.
And I think that's sort of the energy I just have all the time.
Best you can do in that kind of situation.
Yeah. Like, and I don't know. But just like how insane. Like, I know we aren't supposed to use that word, but like what, like by the definition of insanity of like doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm sorry, Karen, these kids are going to fuck whether you want them to or not. They're teenagers.
I'm asexual. And obviously, like, that was not my MO at lock-ins. But even
No.
I have to admit, like, there is already so much fucking spit in that carpet. There's nothing else you can do in that room. There's nothing you can do to fix that. There's nothing you can do to escape that cycle.
Well, like, and even if you're not getting up to, like, canoodly things, you telling me that you weren't up to some tomfoolery, some little shenanigans, because you're locked in a school for hours and you're sleep deprived, and all they've given you is, like, candy and soda and pizza, and so you're fucking just, like, going all cylinders, and then they're like, yeah, this is fine. These kids, totally under control. They're not making any choices here, and it's like, what? Like, I don't know. Sometimes I'm just like, you were all teens. We've all been teens. And you're
There's
telling
some
me that
mischief to get up to, whether it's canoodling or eating an entire pack of Oreos in one sitting.
No,
Not
like,
that I've ever done that.
But everyone has their little things that, like...
You're gonna get a little weird.
You're gonna get a
little weird as shit.
You're locked in a fucking building. Like,
How is that?
Captivity is not... like, I mean, this... Also, I feel this way, like, Captivity is not good for human souls or spirits, right? Captivity is bad.
No.
For most things and most people. And yes, this is also a very lighthearted way of me critiquing the prison industrial complex, because that too, because, like, obviously a lock-in, totally different, but, like, if even a lock-in causes that behavior, what do you think's happening to the brains of people who were, like, institutionally, like... Institutionalized.
Yeah.
Institutionalized.
Yep. Yeah, it's late.
It's late.
We're doing our best, but that doesn't mean we were gonna, like, skip an opportunity to just pepper in a little abolition in there.
Yeah, like, you know how you do. You know how you just sort of add it into your, it's like adding a little bit of pepper, a little bit of spice to your everyday meal. Like, it's just sort of there for every meal you have, and it informs your worldview and your politics, so it's just sort of there. That's my point. But it is really also just objectively, on a cultural level, just bananas to me that lock-ins are a thing and that adults still trust them.
I mean...
Like, we've all been teens! We've all been like, how do they forget? How do they forget about what teens are like? Like, there's so many songs about it, too.
Maybe...
And it's like, they're like, no. I'm different. I can control this generation. It's like, no, you fucking can't. No one could control you. Like,
I mean, maybe that really just is the motive, though, of, like, I'd rather you do it in the house.
Yeah, but, like, the church lock-ins, though.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you about that.
You know what I mean? I don't know. I feel like there's some adults who are, like, very much in the, like, you know, we can't stop all of it, but if they're gonna do some weird stuff, let's at least A, make it harder, and B, you know, at least we know where they are and they're safe and not, like, getting kidnapped or whatever people think happens to children.
Avoiding kidnapping, I think, is a noble goal. And, you know, maybe the motivation is, like, we have 3 adults and, like, the shame of Jesus watching you while you just get more spit ground into the carpet.
I guess, but then again, I'm like, you were a fucking teen, so I know that you were canoodling in the back of the church while the pastor was talking. Like, you know what I mean?
Canoodling is not my personal area of expertise or interest, so I will defer to you on that one.
I'm just saying, like, but you have friends. You're around other people. Like, you've been in society. You know how much our society places value on sex. Like,
we sure do as a society. That sure is a choice that we make.
Again, I'm not saying that I support that or that I think one way is bad or the other, but I also am like, listen, people have got, like, I mean, everyone's got hormones, but some people have specific hormones that they just go a little ape-like.
Yeah.
And, you know, that makes sense because, you know, humans... apes. We are related. God, I've been really fully in my anthropologist life, though.
Yeah. With all that Love Island.
It really does feel like I'm studying people. Like, like I feel like I should be taking notes whenever I'm watching Love Island. Because I'm like, wow, they really believe that? Or, they're really behaving in that way on TV? Or, wow, they're really miscommunicating in this way. Like, it's so interesting. It's fascinating. And then I feel like an asshole because I'm like, wow, this is the least ethical way to study people. It's reality TV, huh? But it's like...
it's a part of reality.
Yeah, and also, like, I don't know. I just always do this. You know that. I was born to judge. So I just look at everyone else behaving and I'm like, interesting. And I don't have a notebook that I write down in, but it's up here. It's pointing at my head. That's what that little Foley work was.
The noggin.
What are we talking about today?
We're only like 15 minutes into recording.
That's not bad.
That's not bad at all, actually. So today, we are talking about my thing that I'm excited about now.
Yes! Yes, please.
Web accessibility.
Woo!
Yeah! So, for those of you who do not know me and my goings-on and my doing of things in real life.
Sorry.
Yeah?
It's just, you're doing of things. You sure do things.
I sure do.
And I fucking love you for it. I love everything you do.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah,
I
of course,
appreciate
bro.
that.
I know I've made your life British hell, but
So, hell?
yeah.
I had to get the dig in. We both fight it in our own ways. And by it, I mean the concept of British people. Oh, our ceiling's falling down. Uh-oh. Oh.
Oh, like the padding.
The padding.
I was like, the fuck do you mean? Huh?
It's late.
For what?
For what? Huh?
Huh?
That was embarrassing.
It's not embarrassing. It's a part of our fucking vernacular now, you know?
It is. It is.
The amount of, I've gone on a lot of first dates lately, and I think I have asked on every single date, so do you watch the show Shoresy?
That's an important screening question for
If
you.
not, are you willing to sit down and watch all of Shoresy in one go with me?
Do you watch Shoresy?
Do you
Have you watched Shoresy?
Have you seen Shoresy?
Will you watch Shoresy?
Please watch
When
Shoresy.
will you watch Shoresy?
You're gonna watch Shoresy with me, right? Huh?
You've seen the Do You Wear Wigs interview, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sorry.
Okay.
I was
No, you're
just
good.
getting caught up in
No, that's fair. That I know that
Yeah.
that's very important to you, and rightly so. I think it's very noble and mature of you to be so clear about your wants and needs right from the top.
I was just thinking, I don't think I've asked anybody, so what are you looking for? Like, what's your usual type? Like, I haven't asked anybody anything like that. I've just gone pretty straight to, like, so do you like the show?
I mean, I feel like that does tell you a lot of information about that person.
Yeah. And it's not like the first question I had. Sorry, that yawn
I'm gonna take a drink
yawn
later.
snuck up on me. It's like mid-sentence, and all of a sudden it was
I was like, you good?
fucking like, I'm Mitch McConnell, I'm sorry.
Oh. Yikes.
Oh, yeah, anyways, so I love Shoresy, but you know what you fucking love? Web accessibility. Tell me
I
more.
sure do.
You sure do. Get in there. Tell me more.
I'm going to try and do like a quick overview here of what you need to know about web accessibility if those are not words that you've ever heard before.
Oh, yeah, but you were also saying, like, if you're not aware, of Jordan's goings-ons and doings of things.
Oh, yes. One of the things that I am of doing is accessibility work in the digital space and the meat space.
Great. It's a great way to describe it, the meat space.
The meat space. That's like a word. That's a thing.
No, I
That's a
totally
term.
know. I don't think I was expecting it here and now, and just proper chuffed. I'm sorry. Please tell.
Oh, God.
I'm gonna cover my mouth with the shirt.
With your Naruto shirt?
My Naruto shirt.
Talk. Don't do that. No, don't do that. It's too hot for that, dude.
It's not even staying up on my face.
Yeah.
It's sliding off.
Yeah, it's too hot for that.
Okay.
But web accessibility, if you are not familiar with it, is pretty much what it says on the tin. It is making the web, the websites, the internet, the World Wide Web of information accessible to people who may not be interacting with the web in the same way that people normally think of. Usually the main kind of groups of people that web accessibility, I don't want to say targets, that sounds kind of aggressive, but well, I'm watching you.
It's like, the people we like, it's interesting, the people it's aimed at, targeted at.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's
the people
built to
it's
support.
for.
Yes.
The people that's
there we
for.
go. We got there eventually. Mostly blind and low vision users who, have varying degrees of ability from some to none of being able to just like look at a website in the way that websites are normally built to be looked at. It's a very visual medium.
It is.
It is.
Screens.
Screens. Always looking at those damn screens.
Fucking screens.
Unless
man.
you're not. So blind and low vision users, as well as users with like physical disabilities that make using like a keyboard and mouse difficult. like whether that's like limb differences or like physical disabilities that impact your movement ability. Those are kind of the two main groups that a lot of web accessibility like standards and practices and initiatives target. But there are a lot of other things that people think about when assessing a site for its accessibility, like for deaf and hard of hearing users, making sure anything that is audio-based has transcripts and captions. That's been an especially big one in the recent years in terms of like online education and classes and things like that, and video meeting and all of those things.
Yeah. Like alt text, right?
Yes.
Alt text would fall into this category. I feel like it's
Alt
sort of
text would be more for blind or low vision users usually.
for some reason I was imagining in my head that like a screen reader reading it out would be helpful, but that's not how that works.
Probably not for somebody who can't hear, no. But alt text is helpful
Yeah, I guess I
for...
mean that also just generally, like for people who aren't familiar with like web accessibility,
right.
like alt text is a part of that. Generally.
Yes, sorry. I thought you were talking specifically about, I had just been talking about like accommodations for deaf and hard of hearing people, and you were like alt text, and I was like...
No, sorry. No, I think it's just like...
No, you're good. I'm on the same page as you now. I'm sorry.
I was dumbing it down a bit, if that makes sense.
No, thank you for that. I was just full steam ahead on that one. But yes,
like,
alt
well,
text...
because you said like what has been in like more recent years and stuff, and like on social media and stuff. I feel like alt text is like a one that maybe more people have at least some like experience with.
Yeah,
just, like scrolling through.
Yeah, definitely. It is the number one issue that gets cited in like web accessibility lawsuits is lack of alt text. And it's also something that most people can do and help with, whereas like some other web accessibility things require coding knowledge and things like that. Alt text is something that pretty much everyone can do if you're putting an image on the internet, which a lot of internet use involves, like, you know, Instagram. So yes, alt text is a very important one. Thank you for bringing that up.
Sorry to derail.
No, you're great.
It's what I'm fucking here for, I think.
No, I'm always happy to tell people that they need to add alt text or image descriptions to things. That's kind of my jam. So I appreciate you giving me the chance to.
Oh yeah, you love like if people haven't added text to something, like to an image or a GIF on Tumblr. Sometimes if you reblog it, you add your own.
I do.
Text,
Sometimes
and
I add my own.
That's really
Sometimes
helpful
I'll try
because
and go.
that way, if other people, like if OP wants to reblog their original post, but with like alt text already, like you already did it for them.
I already did it for them. Yeah.
Like why wouldn't they?
Yeah.
It's like you're like the Batman with alt text.
I'll take that. I will take that. I'm not perfect at it, but you know, every little bit helps. And it's not just helpful for blind and low vision users, it's helpful for people with shitty internet connection and the image doesn't load. Or like if you have like a cognitive disability and like watching a GIF or something with text in it is difficult, you can just kind of get the main points there. It's helpful for all kinds of different things. It's the curb cut effect, which if you're not aware of is like when the dips and curbs were added on sidewalks to help people who use wheelchairs. That was the original intent behind it, but then they did it and were like, oh, this actually benefits a shitload of people, like people using strollers or not wanting to trip, you know, just generally
like anyone
walking.
who just wants to like have an easier time moving.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I mean, I think about sometimes like I'll see like a set of GIFs and I won't necessarily understand like what's happening, and then the alt text will sort of give context usually. Like, I don't know, like a lot of times, like for me it's like if people are like posting things from like movies and films, you know, and it's like if it's a movie that I haven't seen, like usually there's like some good Samaritan who at the end has like added alt text and explains like scenes from X movie, and I'm like, thank you, amazing. Like, I don't know, just little things, you know?
Who those characters are, what they're saying.
No, it's just
context.
It's very like it doesn't take away anything from anyone's experience, you know what I mean? Like it's like, so if you're gonna be, I don't know, if you're, what do you say something about like if you're not being inclusive then you're being exclusive? Yeah, Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. And that's, I think you touched on a really important thing about the general concept of, I think, accessibility as a whole. But a lot of the tenets of like good web accessibility consideration is the idea of universal design, where if you are creating a product or website or something like that, your goal as a designer, like no matter what, should be to create something that is functional and like does the job of whatever the thing that you're making is supposed to do. Like that's just good design. And
Yeah, make it work good.
make it work good. And when you start thinking about and learning about web accessibility, the concept of universal design comes up, which is, I won't list them all off right now, but kind of it's like a list of questions basically to make an item or a website or a place or whatever you're designing work for as many people as possible. Like,
Yeah.
it
seems pretty common sense to me.
Yeah.
To my understanding, it's not like there's other people who would disagree with that or don't consider everybody.
Yeah.
But that's why there's people like you who are
here to yell about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I fully acknowledge that, like, there are things about universal design that make sense as a concept, but you do have to learn about experiences that you might not have known about before to accommodate. And that's a learning process. I fully acknowledge that.
Oh, yeah.
But like you said, it's a lot of it's common sense. I would agree with you there.
Yeah, I mean, it's very, like, to me, it's very social contract adjacent of, like, if you have the opportunity to make something that works for everybody, or most everybody, like, why the fuck wouldn't you do that then? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's also, like, the whole, like, Chesterton's fence situation of, like, thinking about, like, consequences beyond the first consequence, do you know what I mean?
Like, I don't know if I'm actually familiar with the concept of Chesterton's fence.
So G.K. Chesterton, theologian he's like one of the Inklings. He hung out with like Tolkien and C.S. Lewis and
those
shit.
bitches,
And,
yes.
Yeah, you know, so like I read a lot of G.K. Chesterton growing up because of the way that I was brought up and everything. But I do still have a soft spot for G.K. Chesterton's logic a lot of the time because he was very... I wouldn't say I agree with G.K. Chesterton on everything, certainly, but one thing that he talks about in at least one book, but I think he talks about it in another published work as well. But the idea, and people, like, he didn't call it Chesterton's fence. He wasn't like, this is my fence, and this is the metaphor, blah, blah, blah. Like, other people have adopted that saying. But essentially, it's like, if you see a fence that has been built in across a road or something, and you think, well, this fence is in my way, so I need to tear it down, you're just thinking that one step ahead of I need to get through, and so I need to tear the fence down. What is it here for? And that's the point, is that oftentimes people, today even, sometimes they have billions of dollars, and they make choices on a whim without any thought beyond the first consequence of the action, and then more consequences happen. And it's like people who are wise is sort of the idea. It's like if you're going to be wise, you need to think through like second, third, like you need to have more forward thinking sort of thought process in terms of like, you need to understand why the fence was put up in the first place. Because people are, and this is where like things get a bit muddy for me because I don't necessarily agree with this, but like, to some extent, I think I do. I don't know. I think it's hard to paint people with this wide of a brush, but like generally, humans as a species don't do things without some sort of purpose. So if someone has gone through the trouble to build something like a fence, then there had to be a reason. And if you don't know why the fence was built, then you have no business tearing it down because you have not thought through what the original builder already thought through. Yeah. And so you need to think about the context and then also what will happen if you take the fence down and not just I can get through, but like, oh no, maybe now the road becomes crossable for people or animals that you don't want to be crossing the road. You know, like there's further consequences down the line. So
that makes sense.
I feel like in terms of accessibility, like web accessibility, it's very much for me, like, you need to think through why we need websites, like, or like why we need web accessibility, like, and why, like, what is the internet for? What's the purpose of it? And when you determine what the purpose is, like, I feel like you can come to the logical conclusion that it should be easily utilized by most people because it's a really useful and helpful thing. So I don't know. There's like a lot of steps there, like,
Yeah.
but it really comes down to, for me, like what you say. Like, if you're not being inclusive, you're being exclusive. And why wouldn't you want everybody to have access to like a worldwide net of information?
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't you want everyone to have access to that?
Yeah.
And I mean, there are some people who don't, who genuinely believe that humans shouldn't all have access to that. And to them, I say, interesting.
Get hit by a truck.
A very spicy take. I disagree with you vehemently.
You are much more polite than I am.
I did just
in
talk
that
about
sense.
G.K. Chesterton, so I think it was just sort of like...
The little carryover.
Yeah, went a little bit academic mode.
Hey, you know what? That's fair. Somebody's got to do it. I feel like we don't always get to switch roles there. So
You call me fucking dumb?
no.
Call me stupid then? I don't usually get to talk about academics. Is that it?
No, I'm saying
Is
that
that
you're usually the one who's
I'm about
like,
to kick off.
let's get him. You know, let's
Oh, yeah.
go.
Yes.
I'm not. You know, you get to.
Be the restrained.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fair. You deserve to like chew on furniture and start screaming and like run into the middle of the street and like cause havoc. Like, you deserve that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I won't do that now because that would be terrible audio. But I
And also,
appreciate the
it's like
thought.
a Saturday night and our street is
It's
a
not
little-
even 11.
Yeah, but it's a Saturday night, so like people are gonna be like probably drunk and driving and stuff.
Yeah.
Not to sound like a mom, but like, don't go out on the road. You know, like,
Don't play in the street, honey.
It's like 11 p.m. on a Saturday. You'll get hit by a drunk driver.
I will not run out into the street. I promise.
You could though, if you wanted to. You deserve to be able to be a little feral.
I appreciate that. I appreciate
I mean,
that.
like a lot feral. I don't know why I said a little. I don't know why I quantified it.
Yeah, so I guess to sum this up, if you, for some reason, actively think that the web shouldn't be accessible, get hit by a truck and then lay there and let the truck back over you and hit you again.
I might be dead by then, but I guess they would.
That was the goal. That's the goal.
Yes, I guess they would let it happen because they can't stop it.
Good.
It's
Great.
probably what they were wearing.
I'm glad we cleared that up. Anyways.
Oh god, you know, I really thought earlier, I was like, ooh, maybe I can make a funny joke about like web accessibility, like
Spiders?
yeah, like making the spiders accessible.
Mm.
Like making those webs good and accessible. But
Got
going
one?
on a rant about Chesterton's fence and the consequences of people's actions and thoughts and wishing ill upon people who wish ill upon others feels more on brand for us.
That does feel pretty on brand for us.
But just know that there was, at least in my head, a little bit of a hee-hee spiders joke.
Yeah, you know what? If it comes to you, if it crawls in, then great. So anyways.
Man, I'm fucking...
It's narcy.
Yeah,
I'll try and get through this.
I'm gonna do the thing where I pinch my lips again. Yeah, when Jordan, like that longest chunk that Jordan got through, I specifically was physically holding my mouth shut. Because I can't stop interrupting you. I feel really bad.
It's the ADHD podcast, babe. We know that this is going to
I
happen.
know, but I don't like it.
I appreciate the effort.
It reflects so poorly on me, I feel. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I'm really...
You
Like,
have a lot to
just
say,
being a
and you're
little
very
dick.
passionate.
Yeah, I know,
And I just
but-
interrupted you. There you
Yeah, but,
go.
like, it's different, because I've been interrupting you the whole time.
No.
And meanwhile, we talk like this all the time.
Yeah.
And when we're actually talking like this and we talk over each other, I don't give a fuck. I think it's just the, like, being perceived fact about it that I'm like, I feel like sometimes on this podcast I come across very, pitbull-y. Like, just very aggressive.
This is our Lex, Mr. Worldwide over here.
You know what I mean, though? Like, just like a little aggro sometimes. So, I mean, and I am aggressive. It's not like it's, like, dishonest sort of...
Somebody's gotta
you know,
be.
But sometimes I am like, wow, I'm a bit
No,
much.
I think somebody's gotta be. I mean, if I felt particularly over-aggressed, I wouldn't do a podcast with you.
No,
but
that's
here
fair.
we are.
Like, you don't take my shit. Like, if I ever actually give you real shit, you don't deal with it. Like,
Yeah.
so.
No, so we're good. We're good. I am a little bit hurt that you let my Mr. Worldwide joke totally fall, though.
Yeah, I thought about doing the Mr. Worldwide, and then I was like, it's a lot of effort. Like that like, I feel like I just felt a bead of sweat develop just from me doing that.
Fair. That's
But
fair.
I did hear it. I appreciated it. And yeah, thank you, Pitbull, for your multiple contributions to the music industry.
And your very, very shiny head.
Which we can both relate to a lot right now.
Yep. Yeah.
Listening.
It's dewy in here.
It is Glossier levels of
Glossier
dewy.
fucking wishes.
This Naruto shirt is like just full on damp all over. Like I'm just damp.
Just losing body fluids like crazy.
It feels very sauna-like in here.
It does feel very sauna-like.
But like then it's like, oh, I'm at the sauna with my bro, you know? Like
Yeah.
we're just having a laugh in the sauna.
Yeah, we're just at the banya.
Yeah. Someone's gonna come hit us with some eucalyptus branches soon.
Yeah.
It'd be good.
Old Russian lady is just gonna beat the shit out of us for like $50. Like, we're paying her for that.
Yeah, but I mean, from what I understand, it's super worth it.
I've never actually done the eucalyptus thing.
Oh. Is it eucalyptus or is it something else?
There's a couple options. It can be eucalyptus, it can be birch. Like, not like branches, but like the little wispy end ones. Yeah. They can also just like scrub you down. I've never done those. I just did the like standard banya, go, lay on the floor naked with a bunch of strangers until you are warmer than you've ever been in your life and you can feel the sweat coming out of your individual pores. And then hold your breath, stand up, because the heat difference is actually tangible from laying on the ground to standing up. It's absurd. Run down the stairs into the other room. There's a bucket with cold ass water on a chain. You pull the chain. You experience shrimp emotions. And then go sit in a tub and feel the happiest and most content that you've ever felt in your life. Just butt-ass naked amongst a bunch of strange Russian women.
Honestly, sublime. Because, like,
truly.
I feel like that's just, like, a more authentic version of, like I used to go to the athletic club with my parents because they have, like, a Bronson athletic club membership thing with, like, the hospital athletic club, whatever. I don't know. Yeah, it's, like, it's not, like, nothing to sneeze at, for sure. And when I still was, like, living at home between years at college, like, over the summers I would work out there, and they had, like, both, like, a steam sauna and a dry sauna, and then they had a hot tub.
Nice.
Well, they had, and they had, like, one in the men's locker room and one in the women's locker room, so they had, like, 2 sets of these things, so, like, they also, though, had, like, a cold plunge, like, little mini cold plunge pool, so what I would do, right, go do a little bit of lifting, a little bit of cardio, get my little workout in. God, I really do need to start working out again more than I used, like I used to, because it was just always so nice. But it was so nice to, like, do your workout, be, like, proper disgusting, and be like, you know what, I can keep this up. Go sit, like, take a quick shower so you're not, like, nasty sweating in the sauna, but then go just, like, keep sweating in the sauna, and then hop into that cold plunge, and then get out, and then take another shower, and, like, possibly go, like, just sit in the hot tub for a bit after that. Yeah. It's just so nice.
At the banya that I went to, they kind of have, like, a series of pools to, like, warm yourself back up. Like, you get the bucket of pretty much ice water on you, and then they had these kind of, like, single-person, they were literally barrels, like, wooden barrels that you could sit in, and that was, like, cold water, but not as freezing. And then there was, like, one bigger pool. It was, like, hot tub size, so you could get a couple people in there, but it was cool water.
Okay, yeah, so it's a little bit more gradual.
Yeah, and you kind of work yourself back up to go back in the banya, and you just do that loop, and then you put on a fuzzy robe, and
a fun little hat.
You wear the hat in the sauna. I should have mentioned that. You are not, I'm sorry, misinformation on the podcast. You are not actually butt-ass naked in front of a bunch of strange Russian women. You are butt-ass naked aside from a felt bell-shaped hat that kind of covers your eyes. Has a big loop on top.
Yeah.
And that protects your head from the heat, apparently.
Yeah. Jordan's is just, like, hangs on our bathroom, like, decor. It's really cute.
I need to go to the banya here. I've still never been.
Yeah, we should go. I'd go with you.
Bailey wants to go too.
I'm all for communal spa activities, no
Truly.
matter how they happen. You
We
know?
tried to go to King's Spa and we just never made it
It
happen.
never made it happen. Yeah. I don't know. We have a couple of friends who like to go to the spa and like do acid and shit, and like there is some part of me that fears we'll run into them like while they're doing that, and I just don't want to like harsh whatever's going. You know what I mean? Like,
That's fair.
bringing any level of like sobriety or reality to the situation. I don't want to be that guy.
That's fair. We can do the
But also like Banya.
Banya, yeah.
Just like be fun to do something that you
Yeah.
got to do like in Russia.
Yeah.
Um
And I think that they also like still have food and stuff at this one too. Because we went and drank tea after the Banya in our fuzzy robes on their like big leather couches. It was transcendent.
Oh my god. Yeah, so just trying to imagine that's what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
It's a little
Yeah.
closet sauna. Klana.
I'm not sure how I feel about that word.
I don't know, I said it and then I feel like my body kind of physically rejected it as it was coming out of my mouth.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so web accessibility.
Oh my god,
Do you
yeah.
think spiders like saunas too?
What?
You think spiders like saunas too?
Sure. I would like to imagine that.
Just imagining like a little, like, you know, someone's gotten up from like a pool and there's just like a little pool like on the tile.
Uh-huh.
Just like a little puddle.
Mm.
And then you just see like a couple spiders just like, yeah, like arms
Yeah.
arms on the side of the little puddle. They're all like slouched down.
Yeah. That's delightful.
2 spiders sitting in a hot tub, 5 feet apart because they're spiders.
Be like 5 inches apart.
Okay, yeah, 5 feet.
5
really
inches
far.
apart. Because they're spiders.
They're just spiders.
Can spiders be gay?
I don't know. I mean, like most animal species have exhibited like homosexual tendencies.
God, it's when I least expect it. Oh, God.
I was about to say the word homosexual, and I was like, you know.
That's... I don't know if spiders can be gay, but I do know about web accessibility.
You sure do.
And how to make very, very smooth topic transitions. Clearly. All this to say, almost 11 p.m. I guess it makes sense that we talked about lock-ins at the top, because we're really bringing that sleepover energy. I'm so fucking sweaty.
I'm really just thinking about, I'm like, damn, do I need to like invest some time into maybe writing like a fanfic about gay spiders? Like
a fanfic?
Fanfic? I don't know.
What media property with spiders? Is this a like fucking
Why is the only thing
Charlotte's Web
I was like, why is the only thing I
fanfic?
think of Charlotte's Web? Charlotte has a girlfriend?
Good for her.
Good for her.
That's sad though, because spoiler alert, we're about to spoil Charlotte's Web. If you haven't caught up, fast forward, she dies.
Yeah.
That's like kind of bury your gays. I don't know.
Of all the things that are problematic about Charlotte's Web, burying the gays.
Evie White, I'm coming for your ass. You're so canceled.
You're so fucking canceled, bro.
I'm canceling you on X.
This story's going nowhere. It's dead on arrival. Oh.
Now I'm gonna have that song stuck in my head. Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Oh, God. I feel like there's gotta be like an OSHA whiteboard, like how many days since the last accident, but it's like how many days since the last like Fall Out Boy reference on our podcast. We live in Chicago, okay?
We live in Chicago and we're both just stupid little pop punk idiots, okay?
It just keeps putting it in our lap. Every single moment we stray farther from both God's light and the topic of this episode.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
It's like the sweatier I get, the more I want to be done.
The more my brain feels like it's fully just slip sliding out my ears.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
then because the brain is slip sliding out at the ears, the less podcasts happen.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me more about Make Website Better.
Make website good. Good website for bad brain.
Yeah.
Or different brain. However you feel about it is valid.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it feels like a bad brain to me. Sometimes it feels like a different brain. That's a different episode. We're doing so good.
Oh, God. Are we? Are ya?
No! To quote one eternally relatable Andrew Hosier Byrne, not once in my life have I been well.
It's the fact that he fucking said that before showing off. Fucking, that was the Kermit the Frog one, right?
I think so.
Ugh.
He has no right to be that funny.
No, it's like you're tall, you're Irish,
shit.
You have a brilliant vocal range and musical talent.
Ridiculously talented.
And, like, you're beautiful, and everyone in the world has mostly good things to say about you. And then you're gonna be fucking funny on top of that?
Like,
go fuck yourself, dude!
Not fair. Not fair whatsoever.
So unfair!
Like, did you really have to make the web store link on your website take me to merch?
Like,
that's so good.
Like, granted, that could have been someone else on his team.
That's fair.
You know?
That's
so
fair.
I'm gonna hold out hope that he's not always funny all the time.
Like, just leave a little bit for the rest of us.
Like,
dude.
truly.
Please,
And granted, in all seriousness, just a person.
Yeah.
Not someone to put on a pedestal. You know, same thing with Fall Out Boy. Like, we joke, but they're just people who are very talented and have been recognized for those talents, and that's fucking great. I'm not saying that we should all gang up on Hoser, right? Like, people who bring cool music into our lives and are, like, clearly chill people, like, A+, keep going. This is not to actually knock any behaviors or anything, just at the same time, on a selfish me-focused level, a selfish us-focused podcasting level.
This is our goddamn podcast.
And we can be a little huffy about somebody just, like, being naturally funny. Because, like, we have to try so hard sometimes. So it doesn't feel very fair.
I'm trying hard right now, but that's mostly to just not slip off my chair.
Truly, I'm like, wow, this is disgusting.
I love how we keep saying how awful it is in here and keep not talking about what we need to talk about to get done with this episode.
Yeah.
Crushing it.
It's just how we do it.
It's just how we do here at Or Learn Parkour.
Yeah! Sorry, that was...
No, that's great. I just felt like a trickle of sweat between my tits.
Mint tits.
They're not mint. They're not fresh at all right now. I guarantee you that. Like...
I mean, I don't think it has anything to do with, like, freshness. Like, fucking like they're
minty,
brushing their
minty
teeth.
fresh
Like,
tits.
minty fresh tits. Oh, God. I'm, like, oh...
Yeah, it's nasty in here. It is so gross.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, so...
Tell me about the spiders.
Are there spiders?
Oh, just tell me about the spiders, you know? Tell me about web accessibility. It's like...
Sorry, you said that while staring, like, locked eyes up at the ceiling. So you can imagine the terror that just went through my entire body. Don't. Stop it. Stop it. Lex, stop it. Mom, come pick me up. I'm scared.
I wish I could give myself just, like, a little drip of a nosebleed on command.
God.
It'd be so, like, what a power, right?
That would be an incredible superpower.
Just, like, roll my eyes back, get a little... It's bad, because I know that that's, like, usually a bad sign for people when that's happening, but...
It's, yeah, usually not good.
Fun
like, I've
prank
seen
for your
Pacific
friends,
Rim.
Though. Fun prank for your friends, though. Make them think you might be possessed. A goofy little prank with the lads. Make them think you're maybe dying.
Would be fun to do to, like, just dudes on the street who yell at you, though. Just, like, turn immediately around.
Yes!
Lock eyes and just, like nosebleed.
Yeah, I mean, I have hissed at people before.
That's fair. Some dude, I was waiting for the bus on Clark, like, by the Middle Eastern Grill, and some dudes were, like, sitting at the table eating, and I was minding my own business as I do. And one, like, tapped on the glass, so I, like, turned around, and he, like, waved at me, and I just said, "I don't know you," and I turned back around.
Good. You know what you do know, though?
What?
Web accessibility.
I sure do, Lex. Thank you so much for bringing that back up.
King of segues.
King of segues.
Catch me riding those bad boys around all over
You mean
town.
Paul Blart?
Yeah.
So web accessibility. The point of it is, most web accessibility practices make the internet better for everybody.
Yeah.
And the reason that is relevant to ADHD is because, despite the fact that I said earlier, a lot of the web accessibility kind of guidelines and education is around accommodating blind and low vision users or people who are using, like, tab key to navigate versus like a keyboard and a mouse. But there are some guidelines for people with cognitive and learning disabilities.
Yeah, there are.
And I lost all of the links that I pulled up because I had to restart my computer to get the goddamn microphone to work.
No.
We're doing so good.
Well, so, I mean, that's like fonts.
Yeah, so I don't have the like actual WCAG guidelines to reference, but
just like as examples.
Yeah.
Like what that means.
Yeah. Generally making your site as simple to navigate as possible, making sure that like the navigation is consistent on all of the pages and like buttons do the same thing on all of the pages. That's a really important one for people with ADHD, but also for everybody, because it's just shitty and annoying if it's a hard to navigate a site and you're going to lose users because they're going to get frustrated and not know how to get what they want. On a page design perspective, implementing proper headings, which means this is an important one for people who are using screen readers as well, because that's how they can navigate the pages by headings. If you are not used to breaking up documents or like building web pages, there are different levels of headers. Like the title of the page is usually an H1, that's header 1. The next level down of importance is a header 2. Below that is H3.
Pretty common sense, yeah.
Yeah. And I will share some more links on headers.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you'll share, like, a fuck ton of links about, like, more in-depth web accessibility stuff. Like, I would imagine that for our purposes at this podcast, where, like, we get off topic most of the time, this is, like, the most bare-bones, basic intro to web accessibility ever, okay? Like,
yes.
I'm going to say that.
Yeah.
Because I think we forgot to add that at the beginning, but, like, this is just a little drop.
Super fair. It's funny, we always start off with our, like, we are not doctors, we are not psychologists, we are not psychiatrists, we are not experts. I am technically a certified accessibility professional, but not tonight. It is 11:12 p.m.
Yeah, like, you're not doing this for money.
I am
right
off
now.
hours.
Like,
I'm actively losing money doing this.
Yeah. Woo!
All that to say, we put our contact information all over our social media and our website and stuff. Please reach out if you have questions about this stuff or want to learn more. Like I said, I'll post some links. But yes, thank you for clarifying this is an extremely bare bones crash course and kind of a very literal sense.
Yeah, well, because, like, if you want to actually be, like, certified to do this, you have to take hours upon hours of courses, and you have to, like, take a test, and, like, you have to do a lot. Like, Jordan has put in a lot of fucking work to do that. And,
go
like,
all the way out to Schaumburg.
Yeah, like, there's a lot of stuff involved, because it's, like, a lot of it is, like, policy stuff, too, and, like, legal things that, like, you have to learn about, like, the actual, like, ADA rules and regulations and, like, actual, like, law things, so that you can make sure that, like, for your purposes, for web accessibility, like, making sure that things are, like, compliant. Like, websites are compliant with those regulations and rules and stuff, and so...
Yeah, it's complicated. There's a lot going on. But in terms of, like, things that everybody can do when you are on the internet and you are making your Geocities site or whatever, just, like, make sure that all of the pages that you make have, like, one purpose. You don't want to have, like, one page that's, like, here is 10 different things, unless it's, like, here are 10 different things in one category, and this is the page about that category. Like, if you have one goal per page, whether that's collect all these resources that somebody might need at the same time, or sell one product, or get people to sign up for one class or something like that, just, like, pick a point and make the page about that. That's good for people with ADHD, because then, like, the goal is clear and, like, what you want people to do is clear. But clear expectations are good for everybody across the board.
Yeah.
That's just some basic conversion rate optimization, baby.
Yeah.
There's a lot I could say about, like, contrast and design and all of those sort of visual things, but, like, it's hard to talk about visual stuff in an audio medium, so I'm not going to do that.
Well, and I mean, like, basic things, though, like, using a serif font is much easier for, like, most people to read. Like, it's, again, one of those things where it's like, this is actually helpful for most people.
It depends on the font, but pick readable font.
I guess sometimes people think a font is readable because they can read it.
That's fair.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, so it must be readable. And it's like, well, not always.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like, the basic point of, like, it's helpful for everybody.
Yeah. And, like, giving examples of what response you want. If you have, like, a form or you're asking for some sort of like input, and that it will tell people if somebody does it wrong, if they put in the date the wrong way or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Also, this might be more on the coding side of things, but I do need to say it out loud in case anybody is listening who can make a change. Stop making forms that just auto-submit when you're done typing the information. Especially, I've noticed for where it will send you a code on your phone.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 6 different boxes for like 6 different numbers, and as soon as you put the last number in, it submits.
Mm-hmm.
Stop doing that. Let me click enter. I've probably typed too fast and made a mistake. It's just going to add an extra step if you don't let me look at what I've input before it sends. That's a personal pet peeve.
Yeah,
as you
no,
might have guessed.
that makes so much sense. I've always been one of those people who, like, because I have an iPhone.
Yeah,
so
the
it
iPhone
just inputs
helps.
it, like,
yeah.
automatically. And so I just am not even thinking about it. But I can see how that could be bad.
That's fair. I also have an iPhone, so a lot of the times that works too, but sometimes it doesn't. Like, let me auto paste it in. And for other types of information, like I've seen people do that with phone numbers or like postal codes or things like that, where it's like a set number of characters. So they think they know when you're done. You don't, but that's my personal soapbox.
Yeah,
on
no,
that.
I mean, I can definitely see why that could be bad.
Yeah.
Why that could not work out and why it would be annoying. So
Yeah.
fair play.
Yeah. Other than that, avoiding any kind of like auto action. Don't auto submit. Don't auto play. Like, don't auto play videos or sound. This is not MySpace. Don't auto play sound.
Yeah, this isn't like a fucking role-playing character page on Neopets. Like,
Yeah. No.
yeah.
And I feel like that's also just a like common sense, common courtesy. If you're on a website minding your own business, unless you've like, oh, I'm going to go to the site that autoplays songs because I want it to autoplay a song.
Yeah.
And nobody wants that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking about, like, when I was, like, 12, I thought it was pretty cool. But I was 12, so, like, I'm not saying I was right,
Yeah.
you know. But I can see where some people might just be like, well, it's my website and I want this song to play. And I'm not playing devil's advocate here, I just am, like, a little bit of a, like, I did that.
We all did, I'm sure. Like, I know that was a big internet thing, but also,
Actually, you know
think...
me, though, I've never done anything wrong in my life. I've never had a bad opinion, and I'm always correct, and I've always been right.
And you're great at playing the trumpet, and I know this, and I love you. And I think, too, like, very legitimately, back in the day when that was, like, popular, like, the MySpace era, the aughts, internet use was just way different. Like,
Yeah.
if you are at home in the den on your family desktop and Gives You Hell by All American Rejects starts playing, maybe your parents will be like, oh, that song has a bad word in it. Nowadays, if you're, like, on the bus on your, iPhone, that's different. If that just starts auto-playing out loud and you don't have headphones in on the bus. Or
Yeah, it's fucking annoying.
if you're on a video meeting at home and you open a tab in another window and it starts auto-playing, even if it's a tab that you meant to open and you want the people on the meeting to know that you opened, that's fine. If it happens to be a boring meeting and you're online shopping, not that I've ever done that, that's different. So we just interact with the internet differently now. And
Yeah.
I'm not going to say whether or not it was okay back then, but nowadays don't auto-play stuff. It's very popular, I've noticed, for sites to have, like, sliders at the top with images.
Fucking fuck off.
The worst.
Oh my god.
It's annoying. It's difficult for people with cognitive disabilities who might need extra time to, like, read and understand what is going on those. If the timing is not adjustable, it's really frustrating when you're, like, trying to figure out what that information is. And then it moves, especially if it's not clear how to pause it or get back to that slide. And also, like I did mention earlier, I am a web accessibility professional who works in digital marketing. That's my day job. I can tell you, with data behind it, those sliders are not good for conversions. People don't look at them. There is no reason to have one unless you're, like, a carousel website. Like, unless you literally run a carousel with horses and shit and you want those little horses to go by like they're on the carousel. Even then, no, I'm sorry. I'm sure you're a perfectly nice carousel owner. That would be very charming. That seems harsh to people who are just trying to bring joy to children.
Fucking get him, bro.
But other than that, don't put a slider on your damn website.
Yeah, you know what? AP News, they recently redid their website. It's a fucking nightmare. Like, it doesn't have a slider, but it has, like, a bar that, like, auto, like, the pages literally have been, like, auto, I'm doing this in an
where the ad pops up at the top and shifts everything down?
Yeah.
Dude.
And it's, like, a fucking bar, and then it'll, like, there'll be the picture and the title of the news article, and then there's, like, a bar, like, across it with, like, the subtitle thing, and that, like, keeps moving with you, and then eventually it'll pop up to the top.
Oh, jeez.
But then when it pops up to the top, it scrolls me down to the very bottom of the entire fucking page, and then I'm like, oh god, and then I, like,
what?
Before I can even try to scroll back up, it'll pop me back up to the top of the page. It's like I'm I don't have, to my knowledge, any, like, vision or cognitive disability experience in that way, right? But, like, from, like, just, like, my own perspective, it's fucking annoying and irritating, and it hurts my eyes.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And so it's like, I can only fucking imagine how this is for literally anybody else who might, like, have different vision than I do, and, like, you know what I mean? I don't know. But it's been driving me nuts, because it's like, it's a news website. I'm trying to get fucking news.
It's amazing how much things like that affect way more of the population than just particular disabilities.
Yeah. Like you said, it's like, it's just better for like, I don't know. It's like I think the other one that when I was told that serif fonts are good to go, fucking course. Another thing they had mentioned, and you can correct or caveat this, but, like, the contrast of colors and text, right? Is, like, there are certain types of contrasts that are easier for people who are, like, low vision or who have, like, dyslexia. Like, there's different contrast type things. Like, isn't it, like, white text on black is one of the easier things to read, or is the other, like, I don't know, but, like,
that's another one that varies, but for some people, black text on white background or white text on black background is the highest contrast there is, so that can work really well for some visual disabilities. But
yeah. But my point, though, with that was that, from what I recall, is that while those things are, yes, helpful for specific disabilities, generally it's, like, better for eye strain problems, just writ large.
Yeah.
To be, like,
to have better contrast.
To have better contrast.
Yeah. And I'll share a tool as well in the many, many links I will share, where you can literally just paste in the hex codes of your text color and your background color, and it will tell you what the contrast ratio is, and, like, if it is compliant to the WCAG standards, which are not technically a legal standard, but they're the closest thing to legal standards that we have in terms of web accessibility, because despite the fact that there are not technical legal standards within the ADA does mandate accessibility in public spaces. Legal precedent has said that websites count as public spaces, which is why web accessibility lawsuits happen. Most of those cite the WCAG, that's WCAG, it's Web Content Accessibility Guidelines, I think. So maybe saying WCAG guidelines is redundant. All that to say, this site will tell you if it is compliant to that, what level. There are different contrast ratio requirements between text of different sizes. It's super easy.
Yeah.
It's super easy, and it, like you said, which I think is, like, the most crucial thing, if anyone takes anything from this episode, that making your website more usable for people with ADHD and other cognitive or learning disabilities makes your site better for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, summed up.
Yeah, summed up, make your website predictable to navigate, write clear and specific, like, instructions and examples. Don't make anything auto happen, like auto submit or auto play or auto scroll. And
think of it like in the very traditional American way. Don't make the choice for someone else.
There you go.
Let the person make the choice. Let the user make the choice.
Yes.
Fucking freedom.
Freedom and alt text for all.
Yeah.
I think that really...
Fucking freedom and alt text for all. That was good. It was a good sign-off.
Thank you. I mean, I think that really puts a button in it, so that's my spiel. Thank you for letting me... I feel like that was my dopamine trampoline. I love talking about accessibility shit.
Oh, yeah.
What's your dopamine trampoline?
Well, I'll keep it. It's a short one, partially because I'm literally like my shirt is wet. I am sopping wet and not in a cute way. It's just full swamp monster over here. So I was gonna say Love Island, but I haven't watched all of the seasons yet, and I feel like I don't have a fully formed opinion on the show as a whole.
Fair.
I will just add that I do recognize that looking at reality TV shows from an anthropologist point of view is ethically icky. And to which I say, I don't care because I'm not like actually studying people or doing anything with it.
Fair.
It's just very fun for me to, I don't know, I can have a little schadenfreude as a treat. You know what I mean?
Yes, you can.
But my actual dopamine trampoline was just like this morning we went to see Barbie. It was really fun. I haven't been to like a big blockbuster movie in like since before the pandemic, so it was like something that was very nostalgic for me because it's something that I like grew up doing with my friends a lot, and like having that not be here for the past couple of years has just been like a little rough for me.
Yeah.
And so getting to go see like a summer blockbuster that was like super fun with my bestie, and then like the audience was like, there weren't very many of us because we went to like the 10 a.m. show. So like it was like a really nice, like everyone was having like a really chill early matinee time, but everyone in the audience was also like crying and laughing, and like I don't know, it just felt like a very good audience to watch it with too.
Yeah.
Like very fun. The movie was really cool and fun. Obviously, it's not perfect because no movie is, so like I'm not trying to be like a Mattel, because nah. But you know, it was fun, and it was just like it felt like a really fun morning to just like go and get like snacks and candy and soda at like 10 a.m. Do the movie thing, see a fun movie. We dressed up and wore pink and like
we did. We looked very cute.
Yeah, it was really cute. And then afterwards, we went to our favorite popsicle place in the city. It's called Pretty Cool, and we got and we got popsicles.
Yeah.
And we were smart enough to get like a freezer bag and get more popsicles.
Yeah.
So we can have them like later. Like I might actually have one after this.
Yeah.
So basically, like, my dopamine trampoline was going to see a movie, seeing the movie, and then getting popsicles after the movie.
It was a very good morning.
It was just such a good morning. See, that's my dopamine trampoline.
That's fantastic. It was very fun. I also had a very good time. It was fun to dress up and look cute and go see him. I went and saw Cocaine Bear, and that was fun, but like not the same.
Well, like we went to see Don't Worry, Darling, but we went to see it at like a local.
Yeah, we usually
theater.
go to a smaller theater.
Yeah, but I really was kind of adamant of like, if I'm gonna go see a blockbuster, I want to go to like one of those big like suburban
like
type.
90s energy. Yeah.
Like I want that feeling in a movie theater for that sort of movie, I think.
Yeah. They had a Skittles vending machine. It was a vending machine that just dispensed Skittles.
What? We did walk past it, and we both looked at it for a second, and I think I was like, yeah, I'd fuck with that. And Jordan's like, yeah, I might actually come back to get some Skittles. And you fucking did.
I did. I mean, I had to get up to get my popcorn shaking.
Yeah.
But I got Skittles on the way back, and we still have some, so I'm probably going to go eat some of those after this.
I'm going to have one of my popsicles.
Hell yeah. Should we wrap it up so we can go have some popsicles and Skittles?
Let's go get some fucking pops and Skittles, bro.
Hell yeah. This has been Or Learn Parkour from Wholehearted Production Company.
You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, places where you can find podcasts. You can usually find us. Even YouTube.
I think Stitcher might be dying, so I should take that one off of the list.
I didn't say it.
Didn't you? Oh.
I said Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and and
fantastic. We'll cut this bit
fucking
then.
cut it out, because I remember last time you're like, there's no Stitcher! And I was like, oh shit, sorry Stitcher, R.I.P., bye.
Rip in peace, Stitcher.
Yeah.
Special thanks to Krisha Perito for our cover art design. You can find her at Pedal Hop. That's Petalhop on Instagram and Etsy.
Yeah, thank you as well to Tom Rosenthal for our intro and outro song, There Is a Dark Place, off of the album Keep a Private Room Behind the Shop.
You can follow us on the social medias. We are at Or Learn Parkour on Instagram. We're not on Threads, because it scares me. But we do have a website, and it's wearewpc.com.
Yeah, and you can find links to that as well as links to transcripts and all of those fun web accessibility resources that Jordan was talking about in our episode description.
There's going to be so many. I hope you're excited. I'm excited.
It's like a fucking Zelda franchise. There's going to be so many links.
That was a good one. Thank you. That's a really good one.
Thank you.
If you enjoy this podcast and want to hear more, go play Zelda, I guess. Or follow us on social medias, subscribe, or whatever the button says on Spotify or your podcatcher of choice. Click that button right now if you haven't yet, whatever it is for you. We'll give you a second.
Did you do it?
Did you do it?
Better fucking do it.
You can if you want to, like no pressure or anything.
No, just do it.
If you really like clicking buttons, there's an extra special one in our episode description. That is our Buzzsprout affiliate link.
Woo.
If you are just so pumped or tired of playing Breath of the Wild and you're like, I want to go on to something new. Or maybe you want to start a Breath of the Wild podcast.
Tears of the Kingdom.
Tears of the Kingdom? Is that that's not the newest one?
That's the newest one.
Okay.
Yes. Breath of the Wild's still great. Still holds up, obviously.
Yeah.
But Tears of the Kingdom. It's the news.
The newest one. Okay.
Jordan loves video games.
I'm such a viddy gamer.
You're such a gamer.
I will say, oh shit, I think the new Hello Kitty game is out soon.
Yeah, that good app.
Yeah,
Yes.
that good Apple app. I'm gonna have to look into that, and then I might be a gamer for real.
Yeah, no, let me know because I'll play it with you.
Hell yeah. If you're a gamer for real, a podcast gamer, game in the podcast system. This has gotten off of hand. Anyways, we have a Buzzsprout affiliate link. If you want to start a podcast, you get some bennies. We get some bennies. We can all go for brunch together. Click it or don't.
Makes it sound like we get eggs Benedict.
I would love it if that's how that worked.
Like every time someone they're like, yeah, you know what? No commish, nothing. Just here's some fucking eggs Benedict.
It's like those gimmicky search engines that are every time it plants a tree or sends rice to underprivileged children. Just there's a chute in our house and just a plate of eggs Benedict fries in there. The hollandaise is kind of gummed up already.
No, it's bad bennies.
I don't know. Here's the thing.
No one's ever done it before.
Nobody's
so
done it yet. So somebody needs to take one for the team and send us some eggs Benedict. The people need to know.
If you want an easier option, you could just give us money.
That's true.
We do have a Ko-Fi.
We can use that to go buy our own eggs Benedict.
Yeah, it's on our Linktree on Instagram or it's on our website. Give us some money.
Please.
And I can make my own hollandaise.
That's true. Also, the money will just go to my credit card bill that I've been putting our Buzzsprout invoices on. Paying for transcripts and stuff.
Fair. To give us some fucking money. Do you have any outro questions that you're burning to ask?
What is your optimal eggs Benedict?
I'm a big fan of on sourdough toast or something. I don't like English muffins very much.
Fair.
More of a crumpet person. I'm gonna go with a wholly circular bread. I think English muffins are just a bit dry.
That's fair.
So I'd prefer to just do a whole toast, sourdough, or maybe what's the soft one? The soft sweet brioche. Some brioche toast.
Love some brioche.
I love a good over easy situation with the egg. I like non-traditional because I don't really like Canadian bacon.
Yeah.
I don't really like ham.
It's fair.
So if I have to have any meat, I would prefer just normal fucking bacon. But I also am really a big fan of an avocado, spinach, tomato, veggie Benedict.
Veggie Ben.
Yeah. What is that? A California Benedict?
I have no idea.
Just, I don't know. But yeah, I really do love an eggs Benny though, and the hollandaise is obviously the most important part.
You're a hollandaise connoisseur. You do make a mean hollandaise. It's very lemony, and I, for one, really appreciate that.
It needs to be tangy. Because you have a lot of other stuff going on there, and you need something to cut it.
I fully agree.
Especially you need something to cut the actual hollandaise itself, because if you don't, it's way too rich.
Super rich, and it's in there mixes with the yolk.
Yeah.
whatever else you got going on there.
You need that acidity.
Yeah.
Not to sound like Gordon Ramsay, but you need the acidity. I can't even do a Gordon Ramsay accent, honestly. All I can do is these shitty people
That's
from
okay.
like fucking Hole!
You'll finish the season, you can go back to MasterChef. All will be right with the world.
Will it?
No.
What about you?
I mean, I am never mad about a classic Benny, but I did have, when I was back visiting my folks on the West Coast, a salmon Benedict with, crucially, hot smoked salmon. I feel like I need to make that distinction in the Midwest. When people say smoked salmon out here, they mean cold smoked salmon, which is very different from hot smoked salmon.
Yeah, certainly.
Hot smoked salmon's more like cooked salmon with like smoky flavor. So it's cooked through. It doesn't have that raw texture, but it like flakes, like cooked salmon does. And I feel like you get that smoky flavor. It goes well with that hollandaise. It flakes up super nice, and so it's just like super tender in your mouth, and you don't have to do the weird like chewing raw fish thing. Just phenomenal.
Amazing.
Salmon Benny.
Oh. Like a Benny does sound really good, but I'm also like, popsicle.
Yeah, let's go get some popsicles. All right. I'm Jordan.
I'm Lex.
This has been Or Learn Parkour. See you in 2 weeks.
Da 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 da.